In the last 2 episodes, we checked out a couple of the mandarake toy stores in Tokyo. So in this episode, I want to switch it up a little bit and we're going to check out Harajuku. Harajuku is like the fashion capital of Tokyo. You see all the crazy dressed people there. But if you venture a little bit away from the touristy areas like Takeshita Street and Harajuku Station, there's a couple of really nice hidden gems off the beaten track that are wicked places for toy hunting. You've got places there like the Hot Toys official store. Now, although I'm not a hot toy collector myself, a lot of my friends are, like, no one cannot appreciate the amount of detail that goes into these things. So it's always worth just going to check them out because you can see them on pictures and they look impressive. But unless you look at them in real life close up, you can never appreciate just how fucking incredible these things are. And they have all the new releases. So they had a ton of like Marvel stuff there and all the Predators and that kind of thing. And they had like the full size DeLorean with Doc Brown and Marty McFly. They just look like they really stood there in front of you. I kind of see anyone that collects hot toys as having like their own personal little 1.6 scale Madame Tussauds in their own house, like their own personal Madame Tussauds. So they're really cool. I don't collect them myself, but it's definitely worth checking out. There's also like a sick little sofubi toy store called Secret Base. Sofubi is like custom vinyl art toys made by like artists who make their own toys, but they're very fucking cool. They're also often based on like the old 70s and 80s kind of kaiju monsters, but with more of an arty twist. So that shop's got like a really nice display full of them. It also doubles up as like a tattoo studio, and they sell some cool clothes in there as well. That's also just across the road from the Warhammer store. So if you checked out our Warhammer special, you'll know how I feel about that stuff. I love it, and like I had to check that out. It was cool to see like how the Japanese fare when they come to customizing and painting their Warhammer. But the main reason I walked down this Harajuku street is because there's a little shop off the beaten track called Spiral that I always check out, and it's like one of the coolest places in Tokyo for toy hunting if you're into 80s or 90s toys, which obviously I am. So when you go in, you walk through like this mad plastic curtain that looks like you're going into some kind of slaughterhouse. But then when you get inside, it's literally rammed floor to ceiling with just tons of colourful toys. So I'm looking all the way around. I've told you before about my eagle eye. When I go into these shops, you need to have that eye that just looks at everything. So I'm looking behind stuff, on top of stuff, scoping out all the little areas, and straight away I find a couple of Ninja Turtles that I've been after for a while, so I got those two. I also look behind like a little section and I find some Garbage Pail Kids posters that have never been opened, so straight away I grab one of them. And then on the rack they've got tons of unopened like wax packet trading cards and loads of like it's like a multi-pack of trading cards, so I grabbed a couple of them as well. Like, I love Garbage Pail Kids. I'm not a big collector of those, like some people have thousands and thousands, but I love them, and if I see them cheap I always pick them up just because I like the art style. So I picked up a couple of them. They had a lot of nice Gremlins, memorabilia, and tons of ET stuff, like ET stuff all over. Loads of bootleg ET and cards and stickers and all that kind of thing. So I'm scoping all around, and then I'm on the floor and I pick something up and move it out of the way, and boom, jackpot! Exactly the kind of stuff I want to see when I come here. I find some like bootleg Madballs frisbees, a display stand full of them, and there's like 3 different ones. I grabbed a set of them, obviously one of each straight away. They reminded me of the old Gloob frisbees from the 80s, but they had the faces on them, and a couple of those faces I've seen on knockoff Madballs before. The thing when you get into like collecting knockoffs and bootlegs, you just go down a rabbit hole, and there's knockoffs and bootlegs and mashups and mad stuff, and half of it you'll never even find the name for, or if you find the name for it, it was probably packaged as 6 other different names across the world, so I don't even know what they were called. But bear in mind, I've not even gone upstairs yet, because there's an upstairs in this building, and it's another one of those places where you got to take your backpack off, because walking around this place with a backpack on, you're just going to end up knocking stuff over. It's going to be fucking chaos, and we can't do it. So we go upstairs, and There's a lot of girly stuff up there. There's a lot of girly toys, and I'm talking like Wuzzles and Care Bears and Rainbow Bright and My Little Pony and Barbie and all this kind of stuff. Lots of pink. There's up there. You go up there. There's a lot of pinks. If you're a girl toy collector, this is the place for you. Go in there and you just knock yourself out. There's tons of stuff in there for you. Just another little shop that I like to check out down one of the side streets of Harajuku. And it's like my favourite kind of shop where it's just like a jumble sale. You proper have to dig to find stuff. Just looking downstairs, found some Garbage Pail Kids, found some gloops, like gloops in the actual box setup in the display stand, the point of sale display stand. Very, very sick. Some wicked stuff in here. I could spend a lot of money. And there's also a couple of good stuff up there for people like me as well. So again, when you go into these places, you can't buy everything. You can appreciate everything, but you can't buy everything. So I find like a cool gremlin in the box, and I've always wanted this figure, but it were priced quite high, and it was also a big box. It's the kind of thing, I'll see it again another time. I'm out here looking for stuff that I'm not really going to find again. There was also a sick like old Ninja Turtles pizza game, like tic-tac-toe or something crazy. Like I pulled some stuff down and had a look. I found like an old Burger King big figure, like a big 18-inch figure in a box that I thought was wicked. Anything like that, anything that's like fast food branded, like junk food shit from the 80s, I love as well. I've got a proper soft spot for mad fast food packaged toys and all that kind of thing. So he was really cool. I would have liked to bring him home, but again, you can't bring home everything. But one thing I did get, I'm looking round, there's a staircase that's just fucking rammed, both sides rammed with like 80s and 90s toys, and boom, I see a full set of Madballs 80s wind-up toys, all on the card, all carded, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the wall. Yeah. Like, I don't even need to second guess that shit. It's coming home with me. I love Madballs. Anything Madball related, I want. And those wind-ups you never see in England. So they got swiped. They come home with me. So out of this shop, I picked up a few more little bits. But, like, I got a nice haul from this shop. And I'm really pleased that it's still got such cool shit in. Because I came here, like, 3 years ago and rinsed it then. And then I come back this time, and there's loads more cool stuff, so I had a really, really good haul from there. Might not fit through the hole. You ready to get your phone? Find the top.
Yeah, it's sticky.
Hold it.
Wow, that's like grape flavour.
Now, another reason that I wanted to check out Harajuku, and it's not even strictly toy related, but it kinda is I wanted to check out the Mishka store. Now, Mishka, if you're not familiar with it, is a clothing brand that came from New York, and a few years, I think about 6 years ago, I was browsing online, and this is back when you couldn't get like Madballs stuff anywhere, and I was like, you couldn't get Madballs t-shirts and hats and that kind of thing, and I was browsing through some forum and I saw this fucking fitted cap with the watching eyeball on it, like it looked just like Oculus from Madball, and I was like, shit. I said to Dr. Calpol, because we were making music at the time, I was like, what the fuck, I need this hat. So I spent all night looking online where I could get it from, and I managed to find one in America and have it shipped over, and I was like the first person in England to wear one of these Mishka fitted caps, and ever since then I've just loved the aesthetic of it. Like nowadays you can get tons of stuff with like gross out Madballs, My Pet Monster and Boglins and stuff on it, but back then you couldn't get anything. These were like the first guys to be doing that kind of stuff, so I've always really appreciated it, and every time I come to Tokyo I pick up a couple of items of clothing, but I'd not been to the Mishka store, so the actual Mishka official store, so I wanted to check it out. So when you get to this store, like outside there's the giant bear head from one of the characters is a giant bear, so they've got this like huge head. I don't know if it's like an old like mascot custom helmet or something from a carnival or something that they've converted, but it's vintage and it's fucking cool. So straight away I'm looking at that. I've not even been inside the building, and there's a giant dunny, a Lamore Supreme like fish like official custom dummy dunny figure outside that he's done. So I walk in, and the dude that owns it, the president, Greg Rivera, he's called, Greg Mishka, he's got the sickest toy collection, and a lot of his toy collection is spread out into these stores. So he had like a nice weird and wonderful collection underneath the main desk, and he's got stuff like the Henshin Cyborg figure, he's got some giant Madball money banks, lots of cool stuff, and I know he's the kind of guy that likes the kind of stuff that I like. So what I did is I brought one of my Ball of the Dead custom art toys. So I've been making these toys and selling them, called the Ball of the Dead, which is kind of like a riff on Madballs and the Evil Dead Necronomicon Ex Mortis book. A couple of years ago, Kid Robot released a ton of horror Madballs, but they didn't. But there was obviously some they didn't have the license to. So I always thought an Evil Dead one would look cool. So I just made my own. I sculpted it. I cast it. So I took one with me to Tokyo because I wanted to leave it at the Mishka store. So I went in. I spoke to the guy. It took us a while to kind of like get on the same level of what I was on about because he didn't speak English and I don't speak good Japanese. But after a bit of talking, we just clicked and he understood that I was giving it him as a gift. And they took a picture and put it on the official Mishka Tokyo Instagram page, and he gave me a ton of stickers, and we had a really good, it was just really cool to be able to leave it there. Like, I've been a big fan of that brand for a long time, and it was cool that I could leave a little piece of my art in that shop amongst that wicked toy collection. So I just took one of my Ball of the Dead art toys into the Mishka Tokyo store and I gave it him as a gift, and he basically gave me a lot of stickers and said thank you. I think he took a picture of me and put me on the Tokyo Mishka Instagram, I'm not sure, but they were wicked. I'm a big fan of Mishka, the clothing line, and I know the dudes that own it collect toys and they've got a wicked toy collection inside. So yeah, I wanted to leave a piece of my art there, so they accepted it, which is awesome. Just another reason to love Tokyo. Death Adders all day, boom. So it was a really nice roundup to the Harajuku mission in Japan. It was a really nice way to end it. In the next episode, we're going to be checking out the final mandarake toy store on our list, and in my opinion, it's one of the most impressive, and it's the mandarake in Shibuya. We're also going to be checking out some other cool stops, so make sure you check back for that. As always, thank you so much for checking out the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We're also on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And on top of all that, we recently set up a Patreon, so please check that out and find out how you can help us make Slimehouse bigger and better than ever. Don't forget to check out all the other cool stuff on our channel, and we'll catch you next time on Slimehouse TV.